Coach there. And let's talk about the rugby now. Former Wallabies hooker Adam Fryer joins us, along with John Sullivan, a sports reporter formerly with BBC Wales. Good morning, gentlemen. Start with you, Adam. What'd you make of that last minute? We're going to show some highlights of the match.
Please do.
And it all came down to the last minute.
Yes, we do, John. Look, it's no surprise, 8 times in a row against Wales. Look, I thought probably not the most entertaining game, but certainly when it's close it is. But Kurtley Beale off a very flat pass from David Dennis scoring in the try. But look, there was some plenty of positives about this match and the 2-1. Whitecliffe Palu is back in form. Adam Ashley Cooper is also showing great signs. And Drew Mitchell here, who was basically destined to never actually play again. And he's in great form. So plenty of positives.
And John, what did you make of the towards the end? I mean, surely you thought that this was Wales' time to clinch a tight one against the Wallabies.
Yeah, I thought perhaps finally we might actually learn the lesson of the last 8 defeats and hang on and sort of play the game in a sensible fashion. But it's the typical Welsh way. We kicked the ball away. The ball came back at us. I was hoping against hope that we would hang on and get the victory, because Australia, they're a tremendous scalp if you can achieve it in Wales. There's so much respect for the nation when they won the Rugby World Cup in 1999. They're a much-loved team. We always want to beat Australia. We always want to beat New Zealand, and we never do. And I'm getting used to it, sadly. So when it happened, I had to sort of bite my tongue and think, good on you.
Now, you woke up really early in the morning to watch this.
Myself. Yeah, I thought, look, this is some me time now. I'm going to get up. I'm going to watch the game, and I was enjoying it up until the last 30 seconds.
John, I wanted to ask you, because last week ahead of this match, the Welsh attack coach Rob Howley came out and said that the Australians were clinical and superb. We didn't really see that in that match, did we?
I think what he meant is that when it really mattered, in the last 30 seconds of a test, and Australia have played 15 tests in the last 6 months, they had the mental and the physical composure to do what Wales can't and win the match. And I think Rob Howley's right to point that out. I mean, it does hurt to say it, but you can't argue against it. It happens all the time, and that's one thing Australia have got in bucket loads.
It wasn't the most elegant win, Adam. I think every Australian rugby fan would agree with that. But there were positive signs. You've mentioned David Pocock, back to his old brilliance. Kurtley Beale in fine form. Yeah. This is yet another lifeline, isn't it, for Robbie Deans to stay on as coach?
It's a magical thing, coaching, because if they lose that game, then the hounds are out. They're really going to go after Robbie, and we score a try like that in the corner to win the game. I'm just so happy that I'm not on the couch copying bullets. We've actually done something good for a change. But certainly that's the beauty of coaching, I think. But I do believe that the players still need to keep our code honest. We still need to keep asking those questions of what's happening, and things are starting to come together. New Zealand got beaten by England, so
after a flu ran
they're officially on the decline, and Australia will overtake them now. So this is the point. But look, with all the injuries we've had, David Pocock back on board, and everyone's got a proxy now. Everyone's got someone who can fill in that void. So I think we're not in a bad position, as bad a position as everyone says.
Now, it's going to be a big year next year. As we just look at some pictures of Nathan Sharp, by the way, I just wanted to mention Nathan Sharp's last test. It was dignified as always, sending off the champion. But John, what do you make about the British Lions tour next year? It's not just Australia that's looking forward to that big tour that doesn't happen often enough.
No, there's a lot of interest in that back home in Wales. Warren Gatland, of course, is the coach of the British and Irish Lions. There's a lot of interest as to what his backroom team will be. Sean Edwards has been a key sort of assistant of his when he was at Wasps and Ireland and Wales. Wales are quite worried because Rob Howley's lost every game that he's been in charge of. We're not doing too well under him, and he's in charge for the Six Nations. And
will Gatland take a big chunk of that Wales team, do you think, or how's he going to pick it?
Warren Gatland is not a sentimental man. Before this Autumn International Series, there was a lot of talk that Sam Warburton was a shoo-in perhaps to be the Lions captain. He lost his place to Justin Tipuric in the Autumn International Series. I think Warren Gatland will probably pick very fairly on form alone. He said the Six Nations is massive in terms of his judgments as to who will make that final Lions squad, and I think we'll wait to see what happens.
And the Australian team is, I guess, the best team will compete well against the Lions. What about Israel Folau? We've got to throw that in. It's been almost a bit of a circus in the last week, but will he play rugby union?
No, I don't believe so, and he won't play for the Wallabies either. If anything, which is very, very slight chance, the Waratahs might pick him up just for Super Rugby. The code can't afford him, and it's as simple as that. If he does play rugby union, I'll be very surprised, although they are reporting it as pretty much a done deal today in the SMH. I don't think it'll happen.
Can we just take a couple of minutes to talk about England smashing the All Blacks?
No,
Sorry for sounding repetitive here,
but
it's rare that you see the All Blacks lose, and it's rare you see them lose so comprehensively, but it was a fantastic victory. John, I mean, you would have seen it.
Oh yes, I mean, there'll be a lot of delight at that result in Wales as well. And it's very interesting. It's probably good news for Warren Gatland, because when he's picking his Lions team, the England players are putting their hands up and saying, look, we can be contenders for you. One of the young stars for them is Owen Farrell. He's shown a lot of potential, and he could get in at fly half for the Lions. Also, Ireland convincingly beat Argentina at the weekend. So Warren Gatland would have wanted to lay a personal marker down with Wales against Australia. He may have some good selection issues ahead of the tour.
Yeah, well, and Adam's already said that Australia's going to go past New Zealand next year, so it's a good note to finish on.
Beat them first.
Exactly. I can hope and pray, but next year is going to be a huge year of rugby in Australia, that's for sure.
Terrific. Thanks very much, guys.
Thank you all. Thanks, Paul.
Thank you.
Vanessa's here with the weather now, with news domestically, but also about a typhoon.